Is it advantage Team India after being 1-all in the Test series after the Gabba Test match? Welcome to the Mushroom Podcast, and once again, it's been a very exciting two Test matches that happened, one in Adelaide and one in Brisbane. And after the three Test matches, it is 1-all in the Test series. Is it advantage Team India? Now, as I discussed in my previous podcasts, what I mentioned was that the Australians did a very smart thing by making sure that the first Test match was held in Perth, the second in Adelaide, third at the Gabba, giving them the best opportunity to possibly go 2-0 or 3-0 up in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, thus giving them a very good chance of winning the series. But as you all know, India beat Australia at Perth, Australia beat India at Adelaide, and once we came down to the Brisbane Test match, which again Australians, as we all know, were supposed to win or had a better chance of winning at Brisbane. Now it is 1-all. The Gabba Test match went in a draw. Now, before we go ahead and discuss this, let's talk about the latest news that has come in. Hazlewood is out of the series with an injury. Tim Southee and Ravichandra Ashwin retire from Test cricket. In fact, Ashwin retires completely from all the three formats. Not really sure about Tim Southee, whether he has retired completely or not. Two greats of our era have retired. Obviously very sad about it. Then we talk about also New Zealand hammering England in the third Test match, the final Test match, and a very comprehensive win by New Zealand. So these are some of the latest news that have come into the world of cricket. Now, let's talk about firstly the four reasons that helped India save the Gabba Test match. First, obviously, is Ravichandra Ashwin. Sorry, Jadeja. My mistake, Ravindra Jadeja. Now we all know that Jadeja, an amazing all-rounder, and he has proved his worth. And he made an invaluable 77 runs, which got them closer to avoiding the follow-on. Also, let's not forget Nitish Kumar Reddy's, which is, I think, I keep mentioning him because now I think he has become one of my favorite Test cricketers, and I hope that he proves me right in the coming years. He also made an invaluable 16 runs, though the runs are very less, but the partnerships that he had, he spent almost 60 balls scoring his 16 runs, thus giving support to the other players, and we all know how important partnerships are, as proven in this particular Test match. And then obviously finally Akashdeep and Bumrah. Akashdeep scoring 31 of 44, Bumrah again 10 of 38. An invaluable 39 run 10th wicket partnership that saved India the follow-on and possibly the Brisbane Test match. Second reason, obviously, are the rains. Right, if it had not rained in Brisbane, almost 2.5 days were lost. I think Australia would have gone on to win the Brisbane Test match because they were always on the top till I would say the fourth day, the latter part of the fourth day, where as I just discussed, Jadeja winning 77 and finally the 10th wicket partnership that saved us the follow-on. Then we have, obviously, a very, very important reason, which is Steve Smith, one of the safest fielders in the world of cricket, dropping KL Rahul on the first ball of the fourth day. Has he dropped the series? Is this going to be the series-defining moment? We will obviously have the two Test matches to watch out for, but I think it's definitely a series-defining moment, and I think from that point onwards, or not exactly from that point onwards, but there's always certain instances in test matches. Steve Smith dropping the catch. If he had not dropped the catch, if he had taken the catch, India would have been blown away. And the 10 wicket partnership that saved us the test match. Now, when you talk about the Aussie cricketers, there was an interview of Nathan Lyon, and Nathan Lyon said that nothing to worry about it. We were ahead of the game 90% of the times, even 95% of the game we were way ahead of India, and just by them saving the follow-on does not mean that they have done well. But do not forget the momentum was with Australia, from Adelaide to almost 3/4, or I would say almost 95% of the test match in Brisbane. But when that 5%, when the follow-on was saved, and we saw the euphoria in the Indian dressing room, that changes a lot. That breaks the momentum of Australians, and then suddenly the Aussies, which were supposed to win at least 2 of the 3 test matches, the first 3 test matches, as I mentioned, it changes the whole momentum of the test series. Do not forget, even in 2020, 2021, India, against all odds, drew in Sydney and then went on to win the Brisbane test match. So what happened was that it demoralized the Aussie teams. In 2021, when India drew Sydney against all odds, and to a certain extent against very difficult odds, India also drew in Brisbane, thus breaking the momentum of the Aussie team. So let's see what happens in Melbourne and Sydney. But I think this now puts India in a very good position. India now feel that they are actually ahead in the test series, even though it is 1-1, because, as I mentioned, the fact that they survived 3 very difficult test matches in the first 3 matches of the series. So I think it's advantage Team India. Let's hope that India cashes on it. They basically take a lot of motivation from this and go on and win the test series in Australia once again. Then we talk about, I feel this was something which is very puzzling. I think there were very, very puzzling decisions made by Team India after winning the toss in Adelaide and in Brisbane. Now, you win at Perth, and a massive win, almost by 300 runs. So, when you win when you win with that kind of margin, what that means is that the Australian batters were under pressure. And when the Australian batters were under pressure, then what you should do when you win the toss in the next test match? You put them in first. You went ahead and go and bat first. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, but I feel that what Team India should have done is that they should have put the Aussies in first. Correct? Maybe they were worried about that 4th innings collapse in Adelaide in the 4 years back, but you can't really think about that too much. When you have the momentum, when your bowling attack has the momentum, when the Aussie batters were under pressure, you put them in first, you don't bat first. I think that was something quite puzzling. I know as captain, your first instinct after winning the toss is to go and bat first, but then you should also look at what would be the better scenario, or what would be the best option here. Aussie batters under pressure, put them in first, and let's see what happens after that. Then we come to this test match in Brisbane. When you lose badly, I would say you lose quite badly in Adelaide, and then when you come down to, it was hardly 4-5 days were there between the 2 test matches, and when you come down to Brisbane and again you win the toss, then why at that time put the Aussie batters in? You bat first. So basically, as I said, that you want to show positive intent. When you want to show positive intent, it was not at they shouldn't positive intent means that sometimes even bowl first, like how they did not do in Adelaide, but in Brisbane they should have batted first. If you want to show positive intent, we are ready to, though we did not do very well in Adelaide, our batters didn't perform very well in Adelaide. Okay, you know what? Let's bat first and see what happens. Also, what happens is that if you bat first, if you had batted first in Brisbane and hopefully would have batted for the whole day, or at least till probably 75% of the day, if we did not do very well, that gives the bowlers that extra bit of rest. They're bowled in Adelaide, then they can come down after 3-4 days to Brisbane. That just that one day extra rest to the bowlers could have been good for them. Yes, of course, we bowled very well, no doubt about that. Again, Bumrah being almost unplayable. Now, but besides that, luckily we did manage to save the Brisbane Test match, again against very difficult odds. And but ISC feel that this decision making of winning the toss in Adelaide and then choosing I think they chose wrongly in both the Test matches. So I just hope that they make the right decision. Now, obviously, if they win the toss in Melbourne, they should go out and bat first. No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. Then we go on to okay. Now we talked about Ashwin retiring. Now with Ashwin retiring, now obviously one of the legends of the game, one of the legends of Indian cricket, and he has given so much to Indian cricket. And obviously the second highest wicket taker in India by Indian player. I think he has won a lot of. He has won the series player, man of the series. He has won so many of them. There's so many records that we can talk about Ashwin, right? Even as batting, he has proven to be very, very crucial for India. Don't forget, just recently against Bangladesh, when we were 140 for 6, approximately around 140 for 6 in the first Test match of the first innings, he and Jadeja saved us. He saved us that test. I would actually say they saved us that Test match. Now, yes. Now, what puzzle again is something surprising to me is that why would you retire in the middle of the series? Now, coming to Australia, Ashwin should have expected that probably he would be playing maximum 3 out of 5 Test matches. Maximum. Maybe even less than that. That would be the expectation. You have Sundar in, you have Jadeja in. Then, once you know that you're not going to get all the games. So that was probably already decided in his mind that he would not be playing all the games when he came to Australia. Now, by suddenly retiring in the end of the third Test match, you're basically, knowing Ashwin is is a warrior actually. You want a warrior in your team. Ashwin will be one of the first people that you would choose because he fights till the end. But when you retire like this, now what happens is, now he said that, he did mention in his interview that, I knew that I was probably not going to get a game even in Melbourne and in Sydney. Maybe, yes, of course you're right. You may be right. So then why should I hang around? And anyway, I think he was going to retire after the series anyway, because he knew that our next Test matches, which is going to happen in England, which is mid, and between that there is no Test matches at home. He probably knew that he is not going to get that much cricket anyway. He's already almost 39 years old. He could have simply announced his retirement after the 5th Test match in Australia. Now, by doing this, what happens here is that you are one player short. Okay. Now I don't know exactly what the ICC rules are. Maybe they can bring in a new player instead of Ashwin. I don't know what the rules are. But whether you can or you cannot, suppose let's assume that you cannot bring in a new player in. What happens is that you are one player short. Now, God forbid, let's say that for some reason, 3 to 4 players in the Indian cricket team fall sick, right? Let's say a couple of them get injured, a couple of them fall sick, and you need Ashwin then to fill in. Now he's not there anymore. So, why do it? Just hang around for 2 test matches then retire. What's the big deal about it? I think there is some other things happening behind the scene, and there's another reason. I don't know. I don't want to add to any controversy to this, but I think this was something that it is against Ashwin's nature, I would say, to just suddenly retire. There is something that is happening behind the scenes which we are not aware of, and I hope is not that serious. But even though there was some issues happening behind the scenes, Ashwin should have stayed for the next 2 test matches. You never know when you need a player like him. That is my I think that was something which I thought was again very puzzling about it. Now, coming to the last part, the playing 11 for India in Melbourne, playing 11 for Australia. Now I know we have a long way to go. It's on 26th Boxing Day Test match. But if the Test match was supposed to happen the next 2-3 days, I think India would probably go unchanged. They would go probably with the same team. Depending on if it's going to spin a lot, then they might take in Washington Sundar. But if they take in Sundar, then who are they going to drop? Are they going to drop Nitish Kumar Reddy, which is who's already, I think, probably the second highest run scorer for India, and picking up crucial wickets? As I say, in a lot of players are the men with the golden arm. Suddenly they break a partnership. You call that guy in. Maybe they might drop Reddy. We don't know, but I think they should not. Looking at Australia again, I think that Scott Boland will come in for Hazelwood. Hazelwood, as I mentioned to you, is out of the series with an injury. So it's not a big loss for Australia, according to me. Scott Boland obviously is a very, very good bowler. So they're not going to lose much out on Hazelwood being injured. There was rumors that Travis Head is injured, but I don't think so. He's probably back with even with one leg if he has to. That is not going to go anywhere. We have to find a way to solve this Travis headache, and I just hope that Bumrah, who has bowled a lot of overs this series already, I hope he gets enough rest and is fresh for the next 2 test matches. I will be bringing the podcast just before the Melbourne Test match, and I hope you have enjoyed the podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please leave your comments in the comment box, and see you very soon. Take care. Goodbye.